Hey Josh, this is Lori with Soul Sisters Digital Design. I know we covered a lot of this information when we met last week, but I wanted to go ahead and create this video so that you could share it with your team and to give you an idea of how your business is stacking up against your competition online, as well as give you tips and steps you can take to improve things. So as Google crawls the web, it is really looking for three things: content, citations, and backlinks. So those are the things I'm going to talk about today. Now, content just refers to the words and images on your site. Google likes to see between 1,500 and 2,000 words, kind of at a minimum on the page, to give it a good idea of what you do and where you are. The exact amount is going to depend on the competition and also the number of keywords needed to get those points across. So what's a keyword? A keyword is anything someone might type into Google looking for a particular service or product. So let's look at what a Google search might look like. Knowing what you do, I went to my Google Chrome browser and typed in Pest Control Gainesville Fl. Now, these things right up here are ads. You guys, looks like you are running some ads right now, as is Turner and Terminix. This is also an ad. It's sponsored for Terminix. But after the ads, what you see is a map pack. Now, usually there's three things on here, but this fourth one is also an ad. So that's the ad that you guys are running. These listings are going to get the most traffic. It's just super easy for consumers to use. You get a lot of information kind of right there at your fingertips. You get the number of reviews, you get the number of years in business, you see where they are on the map. So more and more people are using these to find what they are searching for. Now, to get in the top three, which is where you want to be, obviously you need to have a Google business profile, which you guys do. I looked it up. It's right here. You want to make sure that it is filled out as completely and accurately as possible. And you also want to have your name, address, and phone number listed in as many relevant directories on the web as possible. These directories can be everything from Yelp and Yellow Pages. I mean, even Facebook counts. But the more times you have that name, address, phone number appearing in these directories online, in the exact same format, by the way. But the more power it gives your profile, because every place you do that is considered a citation. The idea is that your brand begins to be found by Google all over the internet. And the larger that online presence is, the more Google trusts you. Now, below the map is what we call the organic results. And that just means not paid. Ideally, you want to be in the top three here as well. By being in the top three of both, you get those are the people that get the most traffic. Probably about 75% of the traffic is represented by those three people. Now, you guys are running an ad. You are not naturally in the top three, but by being in the ad, you are showing on this map, and you are also, it looks like, number 2. So you guys are doing pretty good. But again, the point of kind of what I do is to help the websites and Google Map listings be found naturally without necessarily having to do those ads. Now, I've got your website pulled up here, and understanding that you guys are part of a franchise, you have limited control, as we talked about, for what you can and cannot do on these pages. I will say, obviously, content is something that could be potentially improved upon because you want that 1,500 to 2,000 words, but it's not too bad considering what you have available to you. I do also like that you're drawing in the reviews. People love reviews. Now, one of the other ones that were at the top was this Gainesville Pest Control. So I pulled them to take a look at. This is theirs. And then Yelp is a directory, so I kind of skipped over that. I went to Florida Pest Control as the other competitor to look at. Now remember, content is really what allows you to get in those keywords, so you can really let Google know kind of what you're all about. And it looks like this Gainesville Pest has some content. Florida Pest Control does not have much, but again, they are also a franchise, so it's kind of apples to apples at that point. But when I am looking at websites, I like to analyze them kind of from the back end. So I took your website, plugged it into this tool I have called RFs, and it lets me look at it from a statistics point of view. So if I'm looking just at your website, which is the back page of Orkin.com, you're not really getting any traffic directly. Obviously, if I'm looking at the entire domain, I mean, you guys, Orkin as a whole gets a lot of traffic. They get, 1.5 million visitors, unique visitors per month. But I'm going to drill down and really look at just your website because that's going to be the most realistic for just Gainesville. So you're really not getting any traffic at all. If I look at Gainesville Pest Control LLC, and I'm looking at the exact URL as well. Now, they are not a franchise, so some of this is not, they're able to kind of rank just on their own. But they're getting about 394 visits per month, and that's being driven from 44 keywords. So let's drill down and take a look at what those are. Now, Pest Control Gainesville FL, that particular keyword is being searched 500 times per month. Because they're in the second position for that keyword alone is getting them 186 visitors. So, and this word would be something I would consider more of a buyer intent. So if someone is looking for maybe pest control services and they live in Gainesville, that might be something they type in. So that tells me they're more in the mode of, they're seeking services. And that's why I call it buyer intent. And 500 people per month are kind of doing that. So that's one of those keywords that you would definitely want to target. If you look at Florida Pest Control, I'm looking at the back page for them too. But their back page is doing a little bit better than, even though they're part of a franchise, it's still doing a little bit better on its own. They're getting 188 visits per month, and that's being driven from 38 keywords. Now, Pest Control FL, that's more for overall Florida. That is being searched 4,000 times per month, but even though they're in the first position for that, it's only getting about 37 visits per month. And then Pest Control, let's try Pest Control Gainesville, or Pest Control Gainesville FL. That's the same keyword we looked at for the other people. Again, the 500 search volume, they're in position 6, but the difference between position 2 and position 6 is quite a bit. They're getting 16 visits from that. But you can see kind of the critical difference it takes to be able to appropriately target keywords. Now, the last piece of the ranking puzzle is what we call backlinks. Now, a backlink is anywhere you might find one website linking to another via clickable or hyperlinked text. These links act like an endorsement from other businesses, other websites to yours, and Google uses that to build trust in your brand because it sees these other businesses and other websites vouching for you. But not all links are created equal. So those relevant to your industry are going to count more, as will those that are local. And ideally, you want them to also be powerful in their own right. So I can use the same tool to kind of examine that. Because it is kind of a weighted approach, right? Not all links are created equal. This tool tries to mimic the Google algorithm in judging that. So instead of looking at the exact number of backlinks, I'm going to look at this profile score instead. This is on a scale of 0 to 100. Now the DR, this is kind of saying as a whole, and how powerful are the links coming in to the domain. Well, 75 out of 100 is obviously a pretty great score, but that is really speaking more to the Orkin.com than it is necessarily to your back page. And you are specifically, how much are people, how trustworthy are those links coming in, and how much are they affecting the page, the exact page, the URL? You're on a 0 on that scale of 0 to 100. Let's look instead at the Gainesville Pest Control. If I look at their backlink profile, I can see that there are 26 kind of on the power for the domain and a 14 on the trust for those particular URLs. And if I look at Florida Pest Control, they're at a 33 and an 8. So you can see that, that can make a difference. You want to make sure that the links that you're getting are applicable to your industry, that they're powerful, and that they're also going directly to the back page as well. So it's once all of those things come together, so the content, the backlinks, the citations, that's when you begin ranking higher and higher, and more customers will find you. Now for you, because you're limited on exactly what you can do on your website, what I would recommend is you can potentially do a few things as it comes to search engine optimization. You can add links. You can add links coming into your page directly. That will boost that backlink profile. And then the other thing is you can really focus on the map. because you want to make sure that this profile gets as high as possible in this, so that you're not necessarily having to run an ad to get on that map pack. But I hope this information has been helpful. Would love to hear some feedback on it. I do love feedback. And if you find yourself wanting to learn more, please feel free to reach out. I can help with researching some more information. We can talk about kind of the goals that you have for your local office. And I can see what might be realistic given kind of the constraints that you have, and what it might take to reach those goals. Again, hope this was helpful. My name is Lori with Soul Sisters Digital Design. My number is 352-235-9803. Thanks so much for watching.